Let's see if we can get the rock star himself in here. How you doing this morning, brother?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Listen, I know it's early. You know, you probably, you sing all night long, and you want to sleep during the. Everybody's waving hi to you there, but.
Well, hi. It was Jonas Lawrence's birthday.
Oh my goodness!
Yesterday, and so as you can imagine, there were products consumed.
Of course.
So yeah, I'm hurting a little bit this morning.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Loaded up on Propel, so I'm all right.
Well, hey, we're very excited to have Jonas coming and playing the summer party. You've played the summer party before for us, and we really appreciated that. And he's going to be headlining the stage next July, so we're looking forward to having him here. So very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, man.
He's a good dude.
He is.
He's got some new songs too.
Yeah, he does. And I remember the first time when we were actually going down to Meeting the Minds, and he sent me some music, and we were driving down that year, and I was listening to it coming down Highway 1, and I was like, man, this cat's got it going on. And we ended up playing it on the Sunday show before we left Key West. Man, that seems like 100 years ago now.
Yeah. He played me some of the tracks he's working on. I was giving him, some coaching on some of the final touches and stuff, and I'm excited about the new stuff he has. The Rum Away From Home is the new one he's been working on.
Nice.
So maybe I'll have that single out for you.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for taking time to come on the show this morning. I mean, when we started talking about this, I sent him a message 2 months ago, and he's like, he's like,
way too early for me to plan.
Yeah, I know. He's like, well, let's shoot for October because that's the only Sunday where I'm either not driving or flying back from a gig. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So. It takes a while to get you hooked up, man, but I really appreciate it. And but going back to Jonas and what you're working with him, a lot of people, they know you for all the fantastic, music that you put out and all the hard work you do, going around and working your ass off, playing all these shows and stuff. But before you got into all this, that's kind of what you were doing, was mixing music, right?
It's true, and a little bit of resurgence with that working for other folks came about during the COVID. Oh, you got a drink?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Got a drink. But yeah, so like we worked on the Tom and Coley record. I produced with Eric Erdman about half of those tracks on his new album. I did some stuff for Bob Durand. I've done a lot of getting back into that, especially with this day and age where you can just digitally work on stuff across the United States, or the world, really.
Sure.
It makes it easy. And so we poke in time between tour schedules to try and do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on I just found out yesterday, I'm going to do a Kelly McGuire tune. So that'll be good.
Nice.
Jerry Diaz, did a couple of tracks for Jerry Diaz. So.
Yeah, always working. We had Charlie Imes in the studio one day. He popped in.
Charlie's another one. I'm supposed to do a track for Charlie.
Yeah, well, he popped in here one morning when we were doing the Sunday show after a summer party we'd just had. So, we were all hungover too, and here comes Charlie. He walks in, and we were talking about you. And at that time, you was working on the Winnebago tapes. And yeah, and he says, that guy's amazing. We met in a Walmart parking lot. We got in the RV, and he says, all right, what do you got? What do you got? And he says, well, I got this one tune. And he's like, okay, we'll do that. Okay, we'll add this, and boom, 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 boom. He's like, hell, we had it done. I didn't even know what we were doing. And it was my song.
Donny took this and took that and mixed together and zimzalabing, and it was done.
Yeah. It's a true talent, man.
That was maybe the first time I've ever done that. Is I took two Charlie Imes half songs and put them together and made one song.
There you go.
I said, you can take these lyrics and put it together with this music, put it together. And he was like, will that work? And I'm like, yeah, it'll work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't you know who you're talking to? Of course it'll work.
Soul was the song that came out of that.
Yeah.
Great tune.
It is a great tune. And what was really funny about that whole story was that it was a song that he had never recorded, he had never put out there, and but man, the two of you put it together, and it's one of my favorite tunes.
Yeah, like you said, he had, and it's both it's autobiographical of both of us, and it was he had the lyrics, but he had no music to go with it, and then we had this other chords thing that we were messing with. I was trying to get Charlie chords in there.
Yeah.
Which it's really kind of funny to me. I never really noticed that I do that, but when I write songs with somebody or when I produce with somebody, I automatically jump into their skin for some reason and just kind of start writing the way they would, which doesn't make sense because if they came to me, they're probably wanting my sound rather than their already sound. But I guess I can't. It's like I talk, my accent changes with who I'm talking to on the phone,
Right. Yeah.
My grandmother, you could always tell who she was talking to on the phone just by her accent.
Well, there you go. It's hereditary. But yeah, I've noticed that as well. I mean, because when you work with different artists, they want to perfect their sound. So they're coming to you because you've got that. That was one of the things when you first came onto the scene that a lot of people were talking about, and specifically with trop rock, is that we needed quality. And and you really brought that quality sound when you came on board. And but I think a lot of these guys, they hear what you do, and it's a very thin line there, not to become a Donny Brewer song as much as a Charlie Imes song or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think and my wife accuses me of kind of raising the level of everybody's recordings just by going, oh well, shoot, I gotta do. It was like back when the Beatles and the Beach Boys, they would hear each other's records and go, man, I gotta do something like that,
right?
And it just elevated everybody. And I think that's cool. I think that a lot of people are not trying to be Donny Brewer, but they're just caring a little bit more about it, seeing the potential of what it is. Thinking before, well, I got these chords, I got these songs, let's just go record it. Instead, I think they're looking at it going, hey, how can we make this really awesome? How can we do this better?
Yeah.
And guys like Brent Burns and Howard Livingston, all these guys have always been making top quality stuff, and getting the best studio cats to record it. And I think people are opening their ears to that.
Yeah.
It's very good for our genre.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brent Burns, a lot of people, some people know, some people don't, but I love it. Every once in a while, he'll share a picture of being on Hee Haw or something.
Yes.
He's got his curly hair or whatever, I'm like, this guy has been around forever, man. I mean, this is a really cool deal,
Yeah, him and Daryl Clanton, I think.
Yeah.
Been doing this forever.
Yeah. I got to get Daryl on the show, too.
Yeah.
But
good dude.
Yeah, so the new album, Flip Flop Side, I was just playing the tune that you and Danny Rosado did.
That was an awesome segue, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I was saying, the new album.
Yeah. Well, we got to stay on time, but I know. Danny Rosado came to the summer party. First time I've seen him since he had all of his surgeries and stuff. He came this past summer, and I got to spend a little time with him. And I was talking to him about that song, and these guys were mentioning when we were playing it. It's got that little bit of '80s popped in there a little bit, during the song, and that turned out really well too. That's one of my favorite ones off the new album.
Yeah, man. There's the Danny song that. We wrote a long time ago, and it was supposed to be on Winnebago tapes.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever Danny started having trouble with his voice, we were like, well, let's put it on the album and we'll raise money for Danny. And then by the time the album was ready to be released, Danny didn't need help anymore, monetarily. And so we're like, well, I guess we're leaving it on there. Yeah. So, but that tune was, I think the last recording of Danny's old voice. So,
yeah,
that's sad, but kind of special in a way.
It is kind of special. I like it. So we were talking. Obviously the hurricane has devastated Florida. we've got a lot of our friends and Trop Rock family that's been affected by this, and so we're putting together this TRMA Artist Relief benefit thing next weekend. Have you got any more details since yesterday?
Well, I do have some more details. It's looking like because we didn't really want to announce the time frame on it until we heard back from all the artists. Well, we've heard back from about half of the ones that we're trying to get on there, and but at the rate that they're saying yes, I think it's going to have to be both days. It's going to have to be Saturday and Sunday, and we're looking at a Florida East West Coast Florida time of like noon to 5,
okay.
Depending on how many artists we have. So we'll probably do both days, noon to 5, and it's going to be on the Trop Rock Strong Facebook page is where we're going to go, but we're also going to try to get it to all you guys stations as well.
Okay.
So the technical part of that, I don't know. I'm not a radio guy, but hopefully we'll figure all that out.
Yeah, I've got it all worked out in my head, so I believe.
Yeah, it all sounds good in my head. Yeah, I always get in trouble. I do this. I go, hey, you know what would be cool? And then I have to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of yeses from a lot of big names, and we got some coral reefers, and so I'm very excited about it. And we're gonna kind of do it. They did the stuff this weekend, which was awesome, was great. But we wanted to kind of try and give some time to the Florida folks who don't have electricity yet, because I know a lot of those folks will want to watch this show and want to listen in or whatever they can do. And so we wanted to give them a little bit of time to enjoy it as well. We're going to have our format is going to be, we're going to have some video clips from different people that can't live stream, but we're going to have artists come on in a format just like this, and we're going to interview them for no more than a couple of minutes, and then we're going to have them do one of their own songs and then one song by either a Florida artist or a Buffett tune.
Okay.
And so it's going to go by really quick. So it's rapid fire artists. We're hoping that all the technology allows us to do that. But rather than having one artist for a long time, we get people that we realize people can't listen for a long time, a lot of times. So we're just going to rapid fire, and we'll get to see a lot of artists that way. I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
great. Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook is notorious for shutting you down a little bit, when it's playing music or different types of music or whatever. So that's always an interesting problem. But as long as we can capture it, we can also put it out on YouTube and stream it on the radio at the same time. Exactly. So I've got it in my head all worked out.
That's what we were thinking too. Is definitely capture and maybe put a best of together or something like that too, and continue to have people see it, be able to view it, and donate, because that's the whole reason for it, is the donations. And the more ears that we can reach, the more money we can get down there to help those folks out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, we definitely want to be a part of it. I saw Sam Densler respond back last night as well. So hopefully everybody will jump on board and help get the word out. Yep.
I think we're up to maybe 5 radio stations right now that are going to try and stream it. So
cool.
And just with the Facebook, even if we have to keep restarting it in the stream or whatever, we will. But that way it's so easy for folks to share that way. So that's why we're going to try and do that. And then the YouTube thing, yeah, we need a techie person. If you know a techie person, we need a techie person. Are you a techie person?
Well,
just volunteer.
Well, I tell you this: the longer I do radio, the more it turns into television. So I guess I am a techie person, especially when I've got a broadcaster. I've got broadcasters from Key West to California, And if they call me 5 minutes before the show, I am definitely tech support.
Right.
But looking forward to being a part of that for sure, man. And, of course, getting to see you down in Key West, man. 30 years. Looks like this may be the last one down in Key West for a little while.
Right. I'm excited. There's going to be a lot of people blowing it out to do the last, the last Key West thing. So there's going to be some great shows down there. We have our Eagles show on Wednesday. I'm excited about that. Mm-hmm. We did that a couple years back, and we had no time to rehearse. If you can imagine this, trying to do Eagles stuff, some of the most difficult music and definitely the most hard to sing. And we did that crap on Sunday when we had no voices, and we did it with no rehearsal because of the schedules didn't work out. So we tried to just like go over 2 tunes, upstairs before we went on stage. So we expected a complete calamity, but what happened was at the top of the show, this was at the Key West Theater. At the top of the show, I went to Mike and I said, because Mike Nash and I are the ones who put it together. I went to Mike and I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go out and stand in the middle of the crowd with no mics or anything, and we're going to do Seven Bridges Road. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, I don't think that's not a big intro. I'm like, that's what we're doing, Mike. So we did that. We just walked out there and just sang it. And the volume of people singing along with us, every word, not just mumbling through the verses and then singing the chorus, but the volume of everyone singing, I was like, this is going to work.
Yeah.
This is going to be good. And then, when we got back on stage, you could see where we were kind of didn't know it as well, or you were not nailing the parts, but the crowd was singing so loud over the top of us, it didn't matter. It was one big campfire sing along. It was so good. So I'm very excited to bring that to the big stage at the Casa. That's going to be awesome.
Very cool, man. Yeah. Well, obviously,
we got our big show Saturday as the Donny Brewer show. I'm very lucky. I get to play before Mishka, the Coral Reefers, and then Gramps Morgan, who's my new favorite.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a great kind of a reggae-ish day, and I get to meet Gramps. Like he's like my new. I think Gramps is our new bridge in trop rock.
Really,
that guy. He's got it together musically. He's not so overly reggae that it's like, oh, another reggae song. He's got a lot of different styles of ska and country and everything that are mixed in there. He's got steel guitar all over his reggae songs, which is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And his lyrics are like, they're simple like Motown, they're not difficult lyrics, so you can sing along with everything. And I think this guy, because he's got his record deal, but he's not, superstar level. He's that in between level. And so I really think that he can bring his audience to our world and vice versa. So I think he's going to be fantastic for us.
Well, I definitely love reggae, but reggae can start to sound all the same a little bit at times, and so
that's why when you listen to his record, you'll go, "Wait a minute, I thought this was a reggae record," because it's so many different styles mixed in.
Right,
it's really good.
I actually have some Gramps in my tropical country lineup.
Oh, really?
On my playlist, yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Have you had him on the show yet?
I have not had him on the show, no. Okay. But I do have his music in my playlist, and I think we've played a couple songs.
Oh, very cool, very cool.
Because it's right. He does mix that country kind of flavor in there, which is kind of really cool, and it fit well with our show.
Nice, nice. Well, we'll check him out more.
Yeah.
What else you got going on down there?
Well, to get down to the Keys, we got the Caravan to the Keys this year again, and we're starting a week early. For those of you who don't know what that is, we this year we'll start October 15th, and in San Antonio, Texas, Floresville proper, but and we caravan with RVs and cars and whatever else people drive all the way down to the Key West for the Meeting of Minds down there, and we play shows almost every single day all the way down. So, and it's different acts. We've got on the Caravan of the Keys, just the Caravan of the Keys, we have 41 acts this year.
Wow.
And some of them are playing twice, so maybe 50 different performances. It's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's more than they have at freaking Meaning of the Mind.
That's crazy.
And we're coming from Kansas City through Nashville as well, so we got 2 legs that are going to come down, and it's great. We do inside songwriter shows and things like that. We do bars with bands. We do what people always say is their favorite part is the parking lot parties. You know, where sometimes we don't stop at a RV park or anything like that. We just stop at a Walmart parking lot. Yeah. And the guitars come out, and we delivered 30 pizzas to a Walmart parking lot before, and brought out the guitars and the steel pan and everything, and just jammed right there in the parking lot.
That's so cool.
It's a ridiculous, amazing show. And it culminates in Sarasota this year. Mm-hmm. We've got what we call flip-flop stock, which is our last 2 days. And that show alone, I think, has maybe 15 artists on it between the 2 days. That may be maybe 20. I'll have to go back and look. There's a lot. And that's going to be open to the public, and we've got tickets online for that, but it's like $50 or something like that for both days. Like, you can't even get 2 house concerts for $50. Right. And we're going to have all those artists full band, and I forgot to mention this. I always forget to mention this. This year we are Las Vegas style. So everything is Las Vegas. We're going to have a Las Vegas karaoke. It's going to be crazy. We're going to actually deal blackjack and Texas Hold'em and all that stuff during the concert. It's going to be crazy.
Hell, by the time you get to Meeting of the Minds, you're like, oh man, I'm worn out.
I'm worn out thinking about it.
Every year when we get down there, people have been complaining. They're like on day 5 of Meeting of the Minds. They're like, oh man, I'm not going to make it through this whole thing. I'm like, we're on day 22.
Good Lord.
That's right. Yeah, quit whining. We've been doing this for a month. Okay, I mean, what the hell, you know? Yeah, well, that's cool, man. That was a one of the things that I've always admired about you is how well you promote what you do, and you and I have talked about just you have to change up T-shirts all the time. You have to do this. You have to do it. You got to keep things fresh. But the Caravan to the Keys was a clever idea, and it's grown. It's gotten bigger and bigger, and people really love to do it.
We expect this year. I think we're going to have. Last year we had 40 RVs. I think we're getting close to that number this year, and I think our last 2 days, we may have 300 people at the event on the last day. Wow. Like, that's a whole event by itself, just our last day.
It's crazy. Well, how is that going to work with next year? I don't think they've announced where they're going to go next year, but if so I mean, it's still going to be the Caravan to wherever, right? I mean, everything else, it opens up an opportunity to come from a different part of the country, maybe.
Exactly. And our plan already was, before we found out about all that, our plan was to get a leg to come from the East Coast. And, that may be better for what we're trying to do, because it was going to be kind of far for some of those folks to come. And so it may work out better if it ends up in Gulf Shores.
Let's
certainly not going to be in Fort Myers.
No.
Which I think it eventually will be in Fort Myers. I think the setup down there is really cool. They were already building a Margaritaville down there, and in a cool part where there's a bunch of bars. Now I don't know what's left down there, obviously. Yeah.
Not much.
But and they're going to have to rebuild a lot. And so it might be something where we can do, and I haven't talked to any of these organizers, but it might be something that, since Fort Myers was probably where they were going to want to be, that they use this year's or next year's to try and raise money for that.
Right.
wherever they end up. Gulf Shores.
That's what I've always.
I'm not sure what that's going to do to our caravan. We had talked about going down to Sarasota and then coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about just going there and stopping for meeting the minds and then continuing on after meeting the minds to Sarasota.
Yeah.
So a lot of different things may happen with that. We'll figure it out. It'll be fun. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we'll figure it all out. Everything will work out the way it's supposed to, so.
That's right. Caravan.DonnyBrewer.com.
There you go.
That's where you go find out about that. Or you can just go to DonnyBrewer.com and look for Caravan to the Keys.
There you go. Well, and that's where everybody can go to follow where you're going to be at, what you're going to be doing, what town you're going to be playing in next, and all that good stuff, right?
That's right. DonnyBrewer.com with a Y. Why? Because that's the way I spell it.
I remember the first time I met Donny. It was it was Panama City. You were coming through, and we sat down and we was talking to you on the radio, and that was the first thing. He says, Donny, this is how you spell it, and. That's the way you've always introduced yourself. So it's very cool, man. Well, listen, tell everybody real quick where they can. There's a lot of people. We got 10,000 subscribers now, by the way. But we got a lot of people out there watching and listening. And how can they find your music and the website? Again, go ahead and mention that.
Yeah, I mean, wherever you get digital music, you can grab my music wherever you like to listen to music. It's out there everywhere. If you would like to get it from me in actual disc form, just go to DonnyBrewer.com and you'll find it. And you'll find out all of our stuff. You'll find out about the Caravan to the Keys. You'll find out about our New Year's show this year, which is going to be in Austin, Texas, with Jerry Diaz and Jonas Lawrence and the Detentions and myself. That's going to be a 2-day bash. You'll find out about Mexico Meltdown, where we're going in December, trip down to Cancun, all inclusive.
Yeah.
And a Margaritaville. That's awesome. My favorite thing to do with Sonny Jim this year. And we're going to add another artist. I don't know who it's going to be. Probably John Batty.
There you go, Ed.
And you'll find out all about all of our trips and all of our stuff. We're going with Jerry Diaz to the BVI's next year. That's my favorite of all the trips we do. That's my favorite, and that's where I wrote "Living in a Postcard" about that trip. So jump on board all that stuff. You can just go to DonnyBrewer.com, find it all. There you go.
Well, there you go, Donny Brewer. Thanks for being on the show, man. We'll see you down in the Keys. One big blowout down in Key West this year, and we'll see you at some point in time or another while we're down there.
Definitely. I'll be everywhere like always. You know me.
Like always.
There's actually 3 of me. We're triplets.
I thought so.
Trust me, if I could have figured out how to clone myself a long time ago, I was afraid to get the bone marrow out. I started with a screwdriver one day. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this or not. But I actually thought about it.
You started with a screwdriver. Maybe you're not the guy to do it.
That's right. All right, buddy. We're going to let you fly, man. We'll see you down in Key West, man. Donny Brewer.
Take care.
Right. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Got my truck pointed towards the Gulf of Mexico.
See you, brother.
I got my cooler and my fishing pole.